레인보우 프렌즈 속 잊혀진 빌런 그레이의 과거와 비밀이 드디어 공개되었다고 합니다. 게임툰즈님의 채널을 통해서 말이죠. 오늘도 역시나 시청료로 좋아요 부탁드리면서 지금부터 감상 시작하시죠.
The main rainbow friends are exactly what you would expect. Brightly colored creatures that all get along as pals. Sure, there may have been a few incidents here and there where they may have fought, but even the closest of brothers do that occasionally.
맞는 말이야.
For the most part, blue, orange, green, and purple have been best buds since they were transformed from humans. But what if I told you there was one rainbow friend in particular that they always hated? Someone that was never loved or invited to their various parties. I know what you're thinking. It's probably Red, right? While it's true Red is hated by the rainbow friends now, he had plenty of opportunities to be accepted by the group. It's his own fault he chose to destroy and deceive at every possible turn. And even now, if he was to ask for forgiveness, they would probably forgive all the bad things he's done. No, this is the story of a rainbow friend no one knows or cares about. The rejected rainbow friend, Gray.
아무도 몰랐던 프렌즈 그레이가 등장했습니다. 생긴 건 거미 혹은 개미와 비슷한데 얘는 무지개색이 아니어가지고 프렌즈들의 외면을 받은 걸까요? 상식적으로 무채색이 무지개 모임에 가면 안 되죠.
To fully understand his sad tale, we must go back to where it all began. Back before he was the hideous ant-like monster he is today.
그래 보자.
Gary Grayson seemed like a very normal child growing up. He was polite to his parents and got good grades in school. He was very healthy for his age and loved to spend time outdoors. On top of that, he always had a fascination with animals. But unlike the other kids, who enjoyed learning about all sorts of large zoo creatures or ancient dinosaurs, Gary was only interested in one very specific region of the animal kingdom. Bugs. His obsession started off small, with a simple butterfly fluttering through the air. But quickly he wanted to learn about every insectoid he could. Bees, centipedes, ladybugs. If it buzzed in the air or crawled on the ground, Gary had to know more about it.
이건 좋아하는 수준을 넘어서 곤충과 하나가 된 거 아닌가요? 아니, 누가 곤충 좋아한다고 저렇게 몸에 곤충들을 둘둘 감고 다닙니까? 심지어 벌이랑 사마귀는 위험한데도 말이죠. 이건 게임툰즈가 너무 나갔다.
He would spend multiple hours a day after school looking for new specimen to study. When he found something, he'd collect them in jars, like a prized trophy.
귀여워.
Proud of his discoveries, he would try to show off to the other children.
하지마.
They did not share Gary's enthusiasm for bugs, however.
에헤이.
In fact, they all found them yucky and unpleasant to look at. Some of the meaner boys would take his bugs and squash them under their feet.
이건 아니지.
They'd call him names like Gross Gary or Bug Boy and would shove him to the ground.
If you like insects so much, you should just stay down in the dirt with
어우, 저
them.
잼민이들.
Yeah, they're your only real friends, Bug Boy.
울지마.
In a strange way, however, without their bullying, he may not have discovered his most favorite insect of all, the mighty ant. They were everything Gary wished he was, both super strong for their size and constantly surrounded by friends and family. You see, while Gary's social life wasn't particularly good, his home life was actually worse. His parents fought all the time, screaming and yelling at each other at the top of their lungs.
왜 맨날 빌런들은 친구들한테 괴롭힘 당하고 가족들은 싸우는지 궁금해하실 수 있는데 어떻게 보면 당연한 겁니다. 저런 상황 속에 놓여 있으니까 결국 빌런이 되는 거예요. 불쌍한 우리 게리 결국 삐뚤어지겠구만.
You can't keep supporting Gary's weird obsession with bugs. It's creepy and weird.
엄마는
And
이해
all
못하고
the kids
일단.
hate him for it. I mean, he's a freak. We should take him to the Rainbow Friends play place like a normal boy.
He's not interested in that stuff, and I don't want our son to be friends with bullies anyways. If learning about insects makes him happy, we should let him.
아빠는 게리 편.
Eventually, the two had to split up. The mom and dad just couldn't agree on anything, and he had to move out. And since his dad was in the army, he was gone for long periods of time. With his father out of the picture, Gary was forced to give up his bug collection. It was all he really ever cared about. Gary wasn't even allowed to talk about bugs. If he did, his mom would make him do all sorts of difficult chores.
If you want to talk about ants so much, then you must not mind working as hard as an ant.
Gary was miserable. But whenever his dad was back in Bloxburg, Gary got to stay at his house. Gary would look forward to it for months.
Remember, absolutely no mention of insects of any kind. You hear me?
No bug talk. Got it.
방금 윙크하는 거 보셨나요? 이게 아빠지. 엄마 앞에서는 엄마 편인 척 하다가 사라지면 바로 아들이 원하는 거 다 들어주겠죠. 그렇다고 무조건 엄마가 나쁘다는 건 아닙니다. 오해하지 마세요.
Luckily for Gary, his dad didn't
선물?
care about what mom thought. He just wanted to make his boy happy.
I got this for you, buddy. You can open it, but we gotta keep it here at my place. It'll be our little secret.
It was the best present Gary could have asked for, his very own ant farm. Every time he was able to visit his dad, he would examine it for hours. Unfortunately, Gary was only able to visit his dad when he wasn't off fighting in the war. But one time, he never returned. He was the only one that was ever truly nice to Gary. The only
된다.
person supportive that didn't make him feel like a loser. To
이럴
make
수
matters
없다.
even worse, it meant that his mom was finally able to find the ant farm, and she was furious.
헐.
I can't believe you, Gary! All these years, you've been lying to me? When will you get over this
덩어리
stupid
아니야.
bug stuff and just grow up? It's time to teach you a lesson
뭐?
once and for all.
엄마 손에 지금 불붙은 성냥이 있죠. 이건 선 넘는 거 아닙니까, 어머님? 아빠 때문에 안 그래도 괴로워가지고 그네 타면서 마음 정리하고 있는 애한테 무슨 짓이야 이게? 그거 당장 내려놔. 그러지 마.
The mom
하지
took
마.
the ant farm outside and smashed it to smithereens. She poured gas on the rubble and lit it on fire. It broke Gary. He felt like he had no real family left. He was now all alone in this world. Eventually, though, the years passed,
Oh.
and he was finally old enough to move out. He decided, against the wishes of his mother, to pursue his passion of entomology. His good grades helped him get into one of the most prestigious colleges in all of Roblox.
이래서 공부를
It was
잘해야 돼요.
everything he could have ever dreamed of. There were bug species neatly organized all over the room, surrounded by magnifying glasses, microscopes, and other testing equipment. Gary could spend all day and night studying. Even better, he was finally around other people that shared his same love of insects. His first human friends. And that's all he needed to be happy for the first time in a long time. Sure, he didn't have much to his name, just a small dorm room and a new ant farm, just like the one his dad got him all those years ago.
그러네.
But that's all he wanted. Unfortunately, going to a fancy college was far from cheap, and Gary didn't have a job. He never really got much experience in high school, so he was desperate for anything that had decent pay. That's when he saw it, an ad for a job at the Rainbow Friends Play Place.
그건 안 된다. 당장 넘기고 뒤에 있는 거 보라고. 평범한 알바 전단지가 아니야 그거. 그나저나 전단지는 참 예쁘게 만들었네. 인형 탈 쓰고 놀기만 하면 되는 꿀알바인 것 같은 느낌이 들죠. 그래서 그거 시급 얼마입니까?
Gary remembered his mother talking all about it as a kid. Surely it'd be a good spot to make some cash. So he called the number.
Hello. Is this the Rainbow Friends Play Place?
대머리 왕눈이.
Yes, it is. Are you inquiring about the position that just became available?
Yeah. But the ad doesn't say what I'd be doing or how much I'd be making, and
Well, why don't you give us a visit, and I'll go over all the details.
안 된다.
Suddenly, the line went dead, and Gary hung up.
하지 마라.
He was nervous. He leaned over to his ant farm and picked up some of his friends.
all right, guys. Wish me luck. I feel like I'm going to need it.
아,
I'm sure you can imagine what happens next. Gary drove to the play
뻔하지
place
뭐.
and found the place looking trashed and abandoned. He knew it seemed risky to enter, but he was just so desperate for money. He couldn't let his dream die, so he went inside.
근데 게리도 참 속 터진다. 속 터져. 편의점 알바, PC방 알바 등등 전문성 없이도 할 수 있는 알바들이 많은데 굳이 거길 들어가냐.
He walked through the various halls, searching for Red's office, or anyone really.
Hello?
Hello?
Is anyone there?
Is anyone there?
When suddenly, down the hallway, a light from one of the labs
하지
turned
마.
on. Gary cautiously stepped inside to find a strange contraption whirring to life.
What is this place?
Why, it's your new home.
Huh?
어? 바로 잡혔죠.
But what neither Red or Gary realized was that
Jimmy.
one of Gary's ants was still on him.
What? No, what have you become? Some kind of bug?
그러고 보니 옐로우도 인간과 오리가 같이 섞여가지고 그런 모습으로 나왔었잖아요. 두 생명체가 동시에 실험을 당하게 되면 둘이 합쳐진 융합체가 나오게 되는 거구나. 그래도 옐로우는 귀여웠는데 넌 좀 징그럽다.
No child would want to come pay money to see a disgusting creature like you.
맞는
Get out of
말이야.
my sight.
Gray wanted to run away, to return
요게
to his
최악이죠.
studies, but he knew that Red was right. If no one liked him when he was younger, they certainly weren't going to accept him now. His only hope to fit in was with the other rainbow friends, blue, orange, green, and purple, but even they were disgusted by him. They laughed at his lack of colors, at his insect-like appearance. They called him names and wouldn't even invite him to their parties.
Sorry,
인종차별
pal,
아닙니까,
but Gray
이거?
isn't a part of any rainbow I'm aware of. Get lost, you bug-eyed freak!
그러지 마라.
Crawl back to whatever hole in the ground you came from. Yeah.
And so he did. Maybe one day the others will accept Gray for who he is. They'll see that they've now become the bullies that used to pick on all of them. But until then, Gray will hide away in his tiny bunker, hidden away from everyone else as the rejected rainbow friend.
이렇게 끝나게 됩니다. 학비를 벌기 위해 알바에 참여했던 평범한 소년이 레드의 계략에 속아 실험을 당하게 되는데 몸속에 있던 개미까지 같이 변하게 되면서 끔찍한 형태의 그레이가 탄생하게 되었죠. 그의 흉측한 외모 때문에 레인보우 프렌즈들마저 그레이를 반겨주지 않았는데 분노는 결국 복수를 낳는 법 아니겠습니까? 그레이의 화려한 변신과 복수를 기대하면서 오늘의 영상 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 안녕.